Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. Hey there friends, let me tell you something that's been on my mind ever since I sat down in my favorite chair with a fresh cup of coffee and turned on General Hospital this week. I've been following this show for more years than I care to admit, and I swear it feels like catching up with old neighbors who just can't stay out of trouble. This time around, what happened with Liz really hit me right in the feels, and I've been turning it over in my head like a good story you want to tell everybody at the diner. I was watching that scene down at the PCPD station, and right away you could see something shift in Liz's eyes. She and Dante were talking about that gun from the shooting of Ross Cullum, and all of a sudden it was like a light switched on for her. She put the pieces together about young Rocco's hurt hand, and I could just feel the weight of it settling on her shoulders. Lord, that woman has carried more than her share of burdens over the years, working long hours at the hospital, raising those boys through every storm life threw at her. But this moment, this felt different. It was one of those quiet realizations that can turn a whole family upside down. And I found myself leaning forward, wondering what in the world she was going to do with that knowledge. Now, I've always had a soft spot for Liz. She's the kind of person you root for because she tries so hard to do right by everybody, even when the deck is stacked against her. Seeing her connect the dots about Rocco made me think about how kids get mixed up in things they never asked for. That boy's just trying to grow up, and here's this injury that might tie straight back to the mess with Cullum. I kept thinking, man, if I were in her shoes, would I speak up or keep quiet to protect the kid? It's the kind of choice that reminds me of that old saying we have around here. You can't run from the truth forever, but sometimes you sure wish you could. Dante's been knee-deep in this investigation, working alongside Jason Morgan and chasing down every loose end that doesn't quite add up. He's a good man, a solid cop, and a father who already has enough on his plate. I could see the tiredness in his face, but also that stubborn determination to get to the bottom of it all. When Liz started to realize what she knew, I felt for both of them. Two people who care about the same circle of folks, but might end up on opposite sides of a tough decision. What I love about these stories on General Hospital is how they sneak up on you just like real life does. 1 minute, everything seems steady, and the next, a single thought can change the whole road ahead. The folks who put together those weekly previews sure know how to get us hooked, mixing scenes together so you think you know exactly where it's going, only to watch it twist in a whole new direction once the episodes actually air. I've seen it happen plenty of times over the decades, and it still gets me every single time. This week feels like one of those turning points where loyalty and honesty are about to have a real showdown. Dante's out there trying to make sense of the shooting, helping Jason sort through the chaos, and now this personal connection to his own son might land right in the middle of it. It makes you wonder how far a person will go to protect family, doesn't it? I've had my own moments like that, times when keeping a secret felt like the kinder thing, but the truth kept knocking louder and louder until you just had to open the door. Watching Liz wrestle with this inside her head got me reflecting on how these characters have become like extended family after all this time. You see them laugh, cry, make mistakes, and somehow keep getting back up, and it mirrors the way we all muddle through our days here in the real world. I reckon a lot of you watching feel the same way, especially on those quiet evenings when the house is still and the show brings a little extra heartbeat into the room. There's something comforting about knowing these folks in Port Charles are dealing with the same kinds of heartaches and hopes we all understand. And with Liz possibly getting ready to share what she suspects about Rocco, I can already feel the tension building. Will she speak up and let Dante know the truth, or will that mama bear instinct kick in and make her hold back? Either way, it's going to stir up a whole lot of feelings, and I'm right here for every minute of it. I'll be honest with you. This kind of storyline is why I keep coming back week after week. It's not just about the drama. It's about watching people try their best to do right in a world that doesn't always make it easy. Liz has that quiet strength that makes you believe in second chances and doing what's honest even when it hurts. Dante's the steady type who wants justice but also wants to shield the people he loves. Put those two together in the same room with this secret hanging between them, and you've got the kind of television that sticks with you long after the credits roll. I'm already looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds, because in my book, that's what makes a great story, when it feels less like make-believe and more like something that could happen right down the street. I remember that night when everything went down with the shooting. Lulu Spencer rushed young Rocco straight into the emergency room, her face pale as a ghost. She knew exactly what her boy had done. She knew he was the one who pulled the trigger on Ross Cullum, but she kept her mouth shut tight, not breathing a word to anybody. That's a mother's love for you, ain't it? The kind that makes you carry a heavy secret just to shield your child. What really got me, though, was that shady boyfriend of hers, the one calling himself Nathan West, but going by Cassius Faison. That fella's trouble with a capital T, but he sure acted fast that night. He's the one who snatched Rocco right out of the crime scene and delivered him safe into Lulu's arms. I sat there thinking, well, even a bad apple can do one right thing, but it still leaves a bad taste knowing he's mixed up in all this. Now that secret's sitting between them like an elephant in the room. All of this brings me right back to Liz and Dante standing in his office at the PCPD. It struck me as a little strange at first, a cop talking shop with a nurse like that, but when you think about how deep Liz is tangled in this mess, it makes perfect sense. After all, she was the one who treated Rocco's injured hand that very night he showed up in the ER. She saw it with her own eyes, cleaned it up, and probably wondered even then if something wasn't quite right. It feels so real, doesn't it? Like the kind of impossible choice you might face in your own family someday. I've seen enough of life to know that secrets like this don't stay buried easy. They have a way of bubbling up when you least expect it, especially in a town like Port Charles where everybody's lives are stitched together tighter than a quilt. Liz is right in the middle of it now, and I can't help but wonder how long she'll hold on to what she knows before she has to speak up. I watched Britt Westbourne lose her temper with Rocco the other day, and it just about broke my heart. She was so frustrated, trying everything she could to make that boy understand how much danger he was walking into. She even grabbed him a little too rough, her voice rising with worry. Thank goodness Liz stepped in right away and put a stop to it. That's Liz for you, always the calm one in the storm, protecting the kids, even when things get heated. She's got that nurse's heart that just won't let her stand by and watch someone get hurt. Now I'm wondering if this week is when everything finally clicks for Liz. Maybe she puts all the little pieces together, the injured hand she treated that night, the way Lulu's been acting, and that aggressive moment with Britt. Or perhaps she overheard something she wasn't supposed to. I keep thinking she might have caught part of the conversation between Britt and Lucas Jones when they were talking about Rocco's situation. At the time, it probably didn't mean much, just another hospital chat. But after standing there in Dante's office and hearing him talk about the gun, I bet those words came rushing back to her like a thunderbolt. Suddenly everything lines up, and she realizes exactly who might have pulled that trigger. These storylines on General Hospital always feel so close to real life, don't they? The tough choices, the secrets we keep for love, and the way the past has a way of catching up with us. I'll be watching every minute to see what Liz decides to do. Will she tell Dante what she suspects? Will she protect that boy? Or let the truth finally see the light of day? Whatever happens, my money's on Liz doing what her conscience tells her is right. She usually does. And in the end, that's what makes these characters feel like family. We laugh with them, worry with them, and sometimes even cry a little when things get hard. Can't wait to see how it all turns out this week, friends. Port Charles never disappoints when it comes to stirring up the heart.